He's an old head.
Youngins are really starting to get on my damn nerves.
He's a purveyor of nonsense. He's a Georgia high school coaching job influencer. His favorite Bible verse is, Jesus wept. He's the man of constant sorrow, Chris Lamb.
Yeah.
Welcome to episode 17 of Sun Coaches Podcast here at the Nike Coach of the Year Clinic in Orlando. And I'm joined with Coach Bobby Sippio, a Kissimmee High School legend, played at Western Kentucky University, went on to play in the league, one of the greatest, if not the greatest, Arena League football player ever. Man's got some stories he's going to share with us today. Coach, good to have you with us.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here, man. Just honored to be here. I appreciate the introduction. I'm not going to say I am the greatest, but definitely one of the greatest.
You said you had some good stories you're going to share with us. I can't wait to hear what you got for us.
Yeah, man, I got some wonderful stories I could tell. Just football, man. Just love the game. I've been around the game a long time. I've played a lot of football. I've had the opportunity to be coached by a lot of great coaches, so I got so many stories I could tell.
Well, I've heard a few of them today already. I know I heard, in high school you were a multiple sport superstar.
Oh, yeah.
And, one story you were just telling, it made somebody like me who wasn't incredibly athletic at all when you said in one game, you're like, we both dunked 9 times. And I'm like,
oh, yeah.
Good God,
yeah,
that's
that
impressive.
Game, man. I know we're talking football, but that game was I was also a basketball player as well. Fortunate we had
you actually went to Western Kentucky to play basketball.
Yeah, I actually had an opportunity to play football and basketball in college due to I was getting recruited by Jim Harbaugh in high school, and the time he came to visit me for football, I had a basketball game that night, and he came to watch me play, and I had so many dunks and blocks, and one play I had a dunk that was just so outrageous, out of this world. I dunked on the kid, and he fell on his back and on the floor. It stopped the whole game, and Jim Harbaugh was running around crazy, and he was like, I have to get you a basketball scholarship at Western Kentucky as well. Even though he was trying to get me a football scholarship, he was so impressed on how I played basketball, he ended up talking to the coaches, and they allowed me to come play basketball as well.
Well, how in the world how did they let you out of Florida? Did you just decide it was a better fit for you? How did a guy from Kissimmee, Florida, that told me earlier today that you played in a bull ring one time, for a football field.
The famous Cow Palace, Silver Spurs Arena. Shout out to Silver Spurs Arena. Next week is rodeo day, so if you're watching TV next week, the famous Central Florida rodeo that they're having next week, that is at Silver Spurs, and that used to be our home football field when I was a kid.
That is
pretty
insane.
Cool. Yeah, it was.
And
pretty
too many
cool.
people can say that's where they play.
We really played in the cow pasture, where they rode bulls, and when we were kids, we used to, when they introduced the team to come out for the game, they used to open the chutes like the cows run out, and we used to just all run out of the cow chutes, which was pretty cool. It was
really
it was a smelly, fun experience. So it was pretty cool.
But how did you not? I still can't figure out how you didn't end up at one of the big 3 in Florida. That's just.
To be honest, I feel like I was one of those kids that didn't want to play in Florida. I grew up a little bit in Louisiana. My dad's a Raging Cajun, so I was born in Louisiana on the football field as a Raging Cajun. So I always wanted to go somewhere and play football somewhere else, and fortunately, Kentucky was the place.
Okay. Well, how was it at Western Kentucky?
It was freezing. It was my first time ever seeing snow. You know what I mean? Like playing in snow and seeing snow, and the experience was great. But Kentucky was just, all you could focus on was football, and basketball, just sports in college, because there's nothing else to do in Bowling Green, Kentucky.
So you played both college basketball and football. How did you balance those two things? Because I imagine back then, because you're not old, but you graduated from high school, what, 98, 97, 98, 99?
I graduated from high school.
So, there weren't a lot of guys back then playing two sport, and there ain't a lot of people ever that played basketball and football at the college level.
Yeah,
Not Division I college level.
Yeah, I heard. I was fortunate, man. I swear I was blessed. I was fortunate to play, but my basketball career was cut short. I went out for basketball my freshman year. Well, the first time I went out for basketball, we had a very strict basketball coach, and he was like a military guy. And at that time, you know, coming from Florida, we had dreads, gold teeth at that time. So I had dreadlocks, and coach he wasn't fond of dreadlocks or braids. He just didn't allow none of the guys to wear styles in their hair. So he wanted all the guys to cut their hair or wear afros. And I was like, I told him I would cut it. After a while, when I didn't cut it, he really started getting pissed at me. And then it was like, he really made me make a decision on, like, if I don't cut my hair, I can't be a part of the basketball team. And I'm like, my hair is kind of my identity right now. I'm a young 18-year-old kid at this time. And I was like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to cut my hair. So
yeah, we're really
like,
doing this over some hair.
Yeah. We're doing this over hair. At that time, that's when dreadlocks wasn't in. You know what I mean? Like, they looked at us as not the cool guys, you know what I mean? We were kind of like probably the bad kids.
Oh, he's being a thug
kid.
Yeah,
the thug kid.
Yeah.
So I didn't cut my dreads. I was like, oh, well, I just won't play basketball, and I'm going to just stick to football because, you know, it was cool. I didn't have to cut my hair. And then, to be honest, I used to see the basketball team doing army crawls at like 5 o'clock in the morning. They used to do it like this military coach was doing. He had the basketball team doing worse stuff than the football team. Like when we had our 5 o'clock a.m. workouts, I mean, we was cool going into the weight room, but when you see the basketball team out there army crawling across the football field, I'm like, oh yeah, nah.
Y'all have that.
So as soon as he was like, oh, you got to cut your hair or you can't play, I was like, I'm good.
Yeah, y'all can hold that.
Yeah, I'm good. You can have that. So yeah.
So you leave. Where did you go after Western Kentucky?
After Western Kentucky, I went to the NFL. I entered the NFL draft in 2002. I was picked up with the Dallas Cowboys at first, but I broke my finger at that time. I had Bill Parcells as a coach. That's a funny story I have about Bill Parcells. But
you said you were gonna tell it.
All right, all right. So, all right, my freshman. After my rookie season into the NFL, I got picked up with Dallas. Going through training camp. And it was a rainy day. And mind you, already, Jerry Jones is standing there. Bill Parcells is standing there.
Were you starstruck, or did you just
man,
I'm fixing to show these jokers?
I'm starstruck. Honestly, to see Jerry and to, you know, just to be, and I'm a rookie. I'm fresh out of college. Just fresh out of college. Glad to be in the NFL. Just want to make the best impression I can, you know. But I'm in Dallas. The world famous Dallas Cowboys facilities, Valley Ranch. At the time, I was in Valley Ranch, and man, I was just a kid in the candy store. And I, seeing Jerry, I was so excited to see Jerry. And then Bill Parcells, you know what I mean, knowing, coming from where as a kid growing up and seeing all the TV stuff about how hard-nosed Bill was.
Yeah.
Oh, man, it was raining that day. We were working out, and at the time, I was a defensive back. And I'm doing back pedal drills, just, looking all good, doing my back pedal stuff. And then I try to do a speed turn, and I slip and fall, but I try to catch myself, and my finger dislocate. My finger was at my wrist, touching my wrist. So I get up like, oh, man, I hold my hand up, and my thumb is like here. And, the trainer's running over, and Bill Parcells and Jerry, they look at me. And Bill Parcells look at me, he's like, Sippio, are you okay? Can you still go? And I'm like, go? I need somebody to call my mom. You know what I mean? I'm like, call my mom. I want to scream. And I'm like, so now I'm sitting here like, dude, this man just asked me, can I still practice? And my thumb is like
growing out my elbow.
Obviously, no. And I'm like, I'm as a kid, I want to cry, man. I want to call my mom. Call my mom immediately. I'm like, can I still go? And he's still waiting on my answer. And the trainer's right there holding my thumb. And I'm like,
is he for real?
Yeah, coach, I can still go. I'm going to go. He popped it back, and I taped it up. And I'm like, I still went to practice, but Bill Parcells didn't give a damn about my finger being broken. And I'm like, this man just asked me. And this was like a welcome to the NFL moment. Like, dude, if you ain't dead, you playing football.
Are you
it's
gonna
like,
be here
it's
not
one of
for
those
long?
moments, are you hurt or are you injured? You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know the definition of hurt or injured at this moment. I just know my finger's broken. And he was like, can you still go? And I'm like, wow. Like,
I used to think this was injured.
yeah.
But
and I'm
apparently
like,
this is now
call the
just hurt.
ambulance, call my mom. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just, you know what I mean? Like, damn. Like, and he was standing there and I was like, oh, like, this was a moment that I had like, okay, this is the NFL. Like, welcome to the league. And like, you know, it was one of those moments where I'm like, my finger's broke. He asked me, can I go? My backup's over there with his helmet in his hand, like, yeah, he's fighting, you know, waiting on his turn. I'm like, nah, you can stay on the sideline. I can go, coach. I'm going to pop it back, tape it up, put it to work, and I went right back to work, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Bill Parcells was tough as hell, man.
And then where did you go? Where'd you land after that?
After that, at that time, that's when Jerry Jones had the arena team, the Dallas Desperados. So they kept me. He didn't release me from that. I did get released from Dallas, but they added me onto the arena team. I played Dallas Desperados that year. That was actually 2004, and that's the same year I got Rookie of the Year in the arena. And Miami Dolphins picked me up the very next year, and I played with the Miami Dolphins those 2 years. I played with Miami Dolphins 04, 05, and I also played arena that year. So I played arena 04, the first part of the year. Played Miami Dolphins 04, the last part of the year. Came back to Dallas January 05, played that season, and played Miami that final season. So I was year-round football.
Year-round football.
Year-round football.
Didn't bother you?
I was trying to make it. I was one of those kids that was just grinding, just trying to find my spot and earn my keep.
Which game did you enjoy more, the NFL game or the arena game?
I enjoyed the arena game. The arena game, I mean, it's all business. You know, the NFL is strictly business. You break your finger, they want you still in the game. Arena, it was fun. Arena was fun. It was more interacting with the fans. Arena was absolutely the funnest time of my life. And, I just enjoyed it. You know, the fans were right on top of you. The fans right on top of you. You get to catch balls and end up in the bleachers type of things. And then, you just really get to interact with the people that really make the game fun for you.
Well, somebody told me that it's more, you get to showcase more basketball skill set because of the smaller field size, the tighter cuts you got to make, the turns. I mean, do you think that played into it, or just you like the more, they're on top of you, quainter setting, more intimate setting with the fans?
I think it was a faster game. It was more exciting. We scored a bunch of touchdowns. That was my thing. You know what I mean? And I come from that. I still hold one of the records in there, scoring a bunch of touchdowns. I scored a bunch of touchdowns, and it was excitement. I love scoring touchdowns. The fans love scoring touchdowns. Football is all about touchdowns, and in the arena, man, we score. So it's excitement.
So where did you play for the Dolphins? What position did you play for the Dolphins?
Actually, my first year with the Dolphins, I went both ways. I was wide receiver and I was a defensive back. But when we was in, I want to say Houston that year, that's the year David Boston tore his patella tendon, and they converted me to permanently wide receiver. After he tore his patella tendon and was out that season, I was committed.
And you cool with that because you get a chance to score touchdowns.
Super cool with that because and another thing, man, coming from defensive back, dude, all my injuries, my neck injuries, my shoulder injuries, like that was the roughest time. Just hitting people. I love hitting people, but that was like a car accident every time I hit someone. So like when I got to the receiver side, it was like I could keep away from these guys from hitting me. So now I can save myself, and just playing wide receiver was so fun. You know what I mean? I could score a touchdown, but at the same time, I'm like, you're not hitting me. And I didn't want to keep hitting people because, oh, man, I can't tell you how many concussions or blackouts or, dingers I had from playing defensive back. And so when I got to the wide receiver, it was just all about keeping the ball, keeping my body away from them guys and scoring TDs.
Well, and EJ told me earlier that, now the game's changed so much since when you played that it's almost unrecognizable to when you played. And now you're seeing these defensive backs getting hurt so much because it's not it's not because of stuff like you experienced. It's because you're running at a top end speed of 22, 23, 24 miles an hour, but you're trying to figure out how to legally tackle this dude, and all of a sudden you're having to stop on a dime, and your body in motion wants to stay in motion, and your body ain't built to just stop.
I find that impossible.
Where when you played, you could just run through somebody.
Fly off, just take off, you know? And that's why it's like I find it incredibly impossible for these kids these days to do all of that mid-action, like try to turn your body, not hit the quarterback here when he's sliding. It's just so much that the defender has to change about himself. Even if he launches himself at times, the way we're taught to make tackles as kids, the way we were raised to taught the football game to make tackles, it changes at a certain level. So that's the toughest part, is getting into the college or the NFL level and having to really change everything that you were taught.
Right. So now, you know, you finish. I mean, how long did you play in the Arena League?
I played 10 years in the Arena League. 10 years.
You must have loved it.
I loved it, man. The Arena League was fun, man. It was so fun.
I mean, do you think that game allowed you to play longer because of the way the game was set up? Could you play that game longer because of the setup of the game, or you just found your niche and was like, man, this is cool, I like this?
I say it was longer.
Or just like both?
No, it's kind of both, but like the game, the arena game, it's not as, like I say, it's not as physically demanding as the NFL. Like, you know, the NFL is a bigger field. You're running a lot faster. The collisions are a lot harder. And, you know, it's not as many players as in the arena, you know what I'm saying? So it's really not as many linebackers, not as many linemen. So you don't really have the big collisions that you would have in the outdoor football field because it's a lot more space.
Right.
So a lot of guys, you can look back in the AFL history, we had a lot of older guys that, you know, that lasted longer in the AFL than they probably would have, you know, in the outdoor league. And then, you know, it was just fun, man, just saving your body, man, just having fun, giving away footballs. You know, in the arena, we used to be able to give away footballs. You know what I mean? The NFL, you're gonna get a fine in your locker. You give away any football, so it's like it costed you in the NFL to interact with the fans. Right. AFL, they encouraged it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like we encouraged even celebrations. Like how now? Okay, NFL is celebrating now. But once upon a time, you couldn't celebrate in the NFL.
Oh, yeah. No fun league.
Yeah, no fun league. So AFL was all fun league.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I enjoyed it, man. It was, and I'm glad it's back.
All right, tell me your Sports Illustrated story.
Oh, so Arena Bowl Championship 2006. First, let me kind of give you the history between me and Kenny McIntyre.
Oh, he leaned into the mic.
Kenny Mack, that's my boy. That's my boy. I love you, Mac. You know, but we got a rivalry history, man. Me and Kenny Mack acted like we hated each other on the football field for a long time during the arena. You know what I'm saying? And it was like he was one of the best defensive backs. I was one of the best wide receivers. So we used to have, we used to go back and forth and competing against each other. So, and I was a flashy touchdown guy. So if I scored on you, I'm going to rub it in your face. You know what I'm saying? So Kenny Mack just hated the fact that I used to score touchdowns on him all the time. And then it was like, I remember playing here in Orlando. I was with Dallas, and I was playing here in Orlando, from Orlando, my hometown crowd.
So you're going to show out?
Yeah, I'm going to show out. I come to show out. And it was like, I want to say my second season in the Arena League, and I remember scoring a touchdown on Kenny Mack, and I did a dance, and he just punched me in my face, in my helmet, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he hit me in my helmet like they could throw the flag, but we didn't fight anything. I knew I was in his head, so I just kept talking junk to him and pissing him off, right? So a couple years later, I get to meet him in the Arena Bowl. Once again, here comes the rival, Bobby Sippio against Kenny McIntyre. They blew it up. They made it sound so good. They made the rival good. So throughout the game, Kenny would never hit me up high. He was always ankle tackling, alligator tackling, or hitting me at my knees. And I'm a big guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the worst thing in the world as a receiver is to always get hit in your knees. I hate DBs that hit me in my knees. So the whole first half, Kenny just wouldn't hit me up high, and it was pissing me off for some reason because I wanted him to hit me up high so I could run him over, you know, some shit like that. So he would not hit me up high for nothing. So we get in halftime, I'm pissed. I'm just pissed. He keep hitting my knee. So I tell Coach Hohensee, I'm like, Coach, when I go in high motion one time, just let Matt hike the ball and just pitch it to me in high motion, and I just come straight downhill and just do what I do to him. I want to jump over him and score, so I did want to make a highlight on him. I wanted to embarrass him. But the plan was to score a touchdown so it can all work out together. So we came out in the second half, and it was time for that play. And Kenny Mack's at the line. I'm in high motion. And they pitched the ball to me. And as soon as I get to him, I just clear him. And in the Sports Illustrated, the picture made Sports Illustrated, but if you can see in the Sports Illustrated, I jumped so high that you can still see his name tag. He wasn't all the way down. He was standing straight up. So I literally jumped all the way over him, but I knew he was going to hit my knee for some reason. I just knew it. He never wanted to hit me up high. So when I did that and jumped, I didn't score, but the next day I seen that picture go viral. Well, at that time we didn't have viral, but that picture was all over the place.
Right.
And then that month we made June Sports Illustrated edition the poster child. So that month I poster child Kenny Mack in the Sports Illustrated. Arena Football made SI.
And you ain't never let him forget it.
No, I ain't gonna let him forget that. I got the picture. I keep
It's immortalized.
Oh, Throwback Thursday, we share that picture sometime. But when I came to Orlando, got an opportunity to play with the GOAT, Kenny Mack. Much respect. That's my boy, my brother from another mother, But that rival was just, it was just two great players just being great, man.
Making each other better.
Yeah, just making each other better, man. And, and it was an honor to be able to be respected. And, from a player like that, Kenny Mack, he was that guy. And, we just went back and forth, man. It was friendly rival, man. But
so what are you doing now?
he slapped the shit out of me. I'll never forget that. But right now, man, I'm offensive coordinator for the Orlando Predators. I'm back home. I was last 2 years. I've been coaching offense in Cisco, Texas. I was coaching at a junior college. And now my boy E.J. Burt just got the head coach's job. Shout out to E.J. Burt, Orlando Predators. E.J. just got the head coach job. Me and E.J. played in Chicago together as well as here in Orlando. And I got the phone call to come, put some points on the board for the Orlando Predators.
And how much do you enjoy now as you transition from a player to the play caller? I mean, everybody wants to still think they can play and want to play.
You must have read my mind. You must have read my mind, man. I still want to play. I'm still calling plays for myself, but just me to be able to give my knowledge back to the game, especially being able to coach some guys that want to know the game and want to learn the game. It's been an honor, the guys that I've met, the guys that I've been able to coach. It's been just honorable, man, just being able to give these guys back my knowledge and them want it. You know what I mean? And then to see them put it in action in the games or in practice, whatever, it's a great feeling.
It won't be long before you come across one that might have them Bobby Sippio skills.
Speaking of that, I'm looking for a couple of players like that can come fulfill, my shoes, that can play like I played. We got a couple of opens, wide receivers. So if this get out, I'm looking for a couple wide receivers looking to come play with the Orlando Predators, preferably my size, my kind of attitude.
What them stats, Coach? What them stats?
I want to say I scored in 2007.
No, I meant like height, weight. What are we talking about?
I'm looking for 6'4" better, 6'3". I'll take a 6'3", 6'2" guy. You got to be a complete dog on the field. Athletic. You know what I mean? Just really got the heart to love the game, man. And really, I'm really looking for heart, mind, and soul of the game. You know what I mean? Not just athletic ability. I'm looking for someone that loves the game, like a real football player should love the game, come to work every day and play it, and really, just really to soak in knowledge of all these great coaches that we have on the staff. That's such a, as
well. I know y'all gave an on-the-field demonstration today during the clinic, and I was walking by, I had to go do something, and y'all had a pile of folks out there. I mean, we still have registration going on. We're not even at full capacity yet with everybody here. And there had to have been 300 or 400 folks just standing around out there watching you guys do a live on the field demonstration. What was that like coaching coaches?
Well, since this was my first time, I definitely had the butterflies.
Because you're in front of peers, these guys are coaches. That some of them are actually going to know what I'm talking about.
So I had game time butterflies, this is a part of my transition of what I'm going into in life, man. And the coach's part and continuing to be a leader, you know, as far as not just a player leader, but now I'm in a position to be a coach's leader. So, you know, I mean, that the opportunity to talk to these coaches and give back the knowledge that I gave to these coaches and really have a lot of coaches that wanted my knowledge, that was really a great feeling, like having to answer a lot of questions, personal questions from guys that knew about me or heard about me or just wanted to see some of my information that I had from when I played. And these coaches that came out today, a lot of these coaches are coaches that coach big-time high schools here in the state of Florida that I've heard of and that I see that got programs that's putting kids into college. So a lot of these coaches are really knowledgeable of the game, but to see them still coming out learning and still coming out wanting more information is a great feeling. And, you know, me being that guy that they come to get it from, and I'm new to it, you know, I'm new to coaching, it's a great feeling. It's a learning experience, and I definitely surprised myself, you know what I mean? I answered a lot of good questions today, and a lot of coaches that came out to, you know, get some good information. Well,
that's awesome. Most of us, you know, especially the more experienced we are, I think. I mean, we all should know that we can learn something from everybody. And you know, to be able to have somebody that played at your level and has the experience that you have, anything that you can teach us and tell us, and you'd be a fool not to sit out there and pick something up from you. And, you know, I'm sure you had a bunch of guys that hit you with the hot, man, I remember when you played, and I remember this game, and I saw you do this. And then, you know, and it's good to hear that. But, you know, you get to a point where you're like, well, I mean, I can coach too. Yeah. I do know what I'm talking. I can't call some plays. I can draw up a ball play every now and then.
Yeah, and I think I'm in the process of having to prove that to these guys, because a lot of guys wanted to talk about, you know, the history. I remember you in high school. I remember you played. You know, my accolades speak for themselves. But now it's time I build my coaches.
Write a new chapter.
You know what I mean? Time to write a new chapter. And luckily, I'm here in the Arena League where I'm able to really put my offensive coordinator, you know, expertise to use, because we score a lot of points. Arena, they want you to score points. It's not really a defensive game. It is a defense out there, but you're going to see a lot of touchdowns. And I'm here to score a lot, to send a lot, you know, to put a lot of guys in position like I did. Hell, I scored 73 touchdowns in the season in Arena, so I know it can be done, and that's what I'm here to bring.
Well, folks, if you get an opportunity, you got to get out here and see Coach Sippio as he works. Coach Sippio, I sure do appreciate you being on with us today. It's been a pleasure to meet you. I can't wait to see what the future holds for you in this coaching profession. And I definitely hope that you are going to get back on with us, because I know you got some more stories you said you may or may not be able to share with us. But I sure appreciate you being on with us.
Oh, yeah, I got some good stories, but I thank y'all for having me, and look forward to the next episodes. And go Preds.
Thanks, Coach.